at what age is it appropriate for a kid to start strength training? Is it 5? Is it 7? Should you wait until puberty? When should you allow your child, male or female, to start lifting weights? Well, we're going to talk about that today. But whatever your opinion is, do me a favor, put that in the chat right now. Just say, hey, listen, I think you should start at this age. I think you should start at that age. I think it's too early to lift weights before puberty. Whatever your opinion is, put it in the chat for me right now. Now, a guy emailed me at coachmark22@gmail.com. He emailed me at coachmark22@gmail.com. And he said the following. He's 31 years old. He has a 10-year-old. He works out 5 or 6 days a week, and he's been working out for the last 11 years. It has brought him much joy and happiness from the results that he's seen from strength training. So his son sees him work out sometimes in the garage. He knows he goes to the gym. Obviously, he wants to be just like his dad. So he's been asking, when can I start lifting weights? Dad, when can I start working out with you? When can I go with you to the gym? I want to start working out because I want to be big and strong like you, right? We can understand that. So here's the dilemma with Ethan. He doesn't know if it's too early to start his son lifting weights because he's heard that it could stunt his growth, right? And he doesn't want him to become someone who's super vain and all he thinks about is himself. So he thinks, is he going to become super self-absorbed by having a really nice physique at a young age? Or will he just gain strength and gain confidence and security in himself? So he's a little bit conflicted there because he knows once he gets started, most likely they're going to continue, right? So he's also asked his wife a couple times about when they should get their kid started with strength training. She's erring on the side of caution because she's also heard bad things about kids lifting weights too early. So he's very conflicted, but he doesn't want to hold his son back because his son likes to play sports, and he's thinking, if other kids are working out and my kid is not, is he going to be super behind? Is he going to be behind all the other kids? Is he going to be lagging behind once he hits puberty? Once he hits high school, is he going to be playing catch up if he doesn't start now? So he doesn't know whether or not he should start him on the weights right now, currently at his age, 10 years old, or should he just wait? He also said that he was thinking about introducing calisthenics, push-ups, pull-ups, some type of body weight dips, body weight squats, walking lunges, crab crawls, bear crawls, whatever they might be. Should he use body weight exercises instead of weight training, right? Traditional weight training. So he had a gamut of questions, but he said mainly he wants his son to have a positive strength training experience as a young man so that he can continue moving forward once he reaches, later teen years and early adulthood, right? He doesn't want him to be turned off by it, and he doesn't want him to become obsessed with it as well. All right. So that's what we're going to talk about today in Lunchtime Logic. So make sure you're putting your comments, your questions, and your concerns in the comment section for me. All right. That's what it is for. Now, my name is Coach Mark. This is Lunchtime Logic. On this page, Monday through Friday at lunchtime. Now, we're on Eastern time, but if you're on the West Coast, I'm sure you can sync it up. We eat lunch together, okay? I normally tell you guys what I'm eating. I eat a little bit, but we give advice to those who need advice. Hopefully, you're at lunch somewhere now too, and you're enjoying some nutritious items, okay? Now, the reason why I eat lunch with you guys is, number one, conversations flow a little bit different when both people are being fed, right? People seem to calm down a bit while they're eating. Also, a lot of you guys think us influencers consume like 500 calories a day. And that is not the truth. If anything, most likely, your favorite fitness influencer probably consumes more calories than you, okay? It's just they're eating their calories from Whole Foods. That's all it is. So I like to show you guys exactly what I'm eating so there's no secret. When you're on my page, man, I'm transparent about my workouts. Comes to showing you guys how I live, all right? So today, guys, I got a cup of peas. I have 5 ounces of salmon, 5 ounces of chicken breast, and a can of tuna, which is 3 ounces. Now, why do I share the ounces with you guys? I do that because I have to remind you that if you're weighing your food and you know the portions, it's easy to track your food. If you track your food, it's easy for you to stay in line with your macros. If you're staying in line with your macros, all you have to do is adjust your calories or adjust your carbohydrates and protein, and you can adjust your body weight, body fat. That's how that goes, guys. All right. So most of my bowls are the same, guys. I like doing 3-in-1s, which means 3 sources of protein, 1 source of carbs. That works out really well for me. I am not against carbs. Some people are much heavier on the carbs and they look amazing, and that works for them. Guys, every person is different. Okay, there are some general ideas that we'd like to live by, but just understand that me at 48 years old, 5'10", 205 pounds, is different than you at 30 years old, 170 pounds, and you're 6'1". It's different, and we also have different activities that we involve ourselves in throughout the day. Okay, so that makes your meal plan is going to be a tiny bit different than mine. All right, so let's get to it. So this young man Ethan wrote in, man. I think it was a great letter because number one, I love when people ask questions about things that they just are uncertain about. That doesn't mean he's a fool. That doesn't mean he has no knowledge on the subject, but he wants to get a more experienced opinion. And guys, we've lost that. When we did not have the internet in the 90s, I know it seems like prehistoric days, but in the 90s, we didn't have the internet, guys. We had Muscle and Fitness magazines, and we had Men's Health. 2 magazines. So we got most of our knowledge from asking the experienced guys in the gym. Hey, bro, how should I do this? Oh, what should I be eating before I come to the gym? What machines or what exercise should I use to build up my chest? That's what we're doing, guys. I was 18, 19 years old, right? So I really like when younger guys ask questions of us, you know, more mature guys about all things health and fitness, but especially when it comes to raising our kids. Because, guys, again, 48 years old, I got a 26-year-old. I've been in this game for a little bit, right? So by trial and error, I've learned a lot. So Ethan has a 10-year-old. So let's start at the top, right? When we were younger, if you grew up with a father in your household or a father figure, you realize the need to be like him, okay? Most of us, myself included, thought our dad was Superman, right? And because we thought he was Superman and he could handle anything, we wanted to be like him. Now, I know it's going to be some of you in the comments that say, Mark, my dad was an alcoholic. I didn't want to be anything like him. I understand that. And rightfully so, but you're not the norm. Most of us who had a 2-parent household had very loving fathers who we saw do things that we just wanted to do, right? So it's very natural for Ethan's son to want to work out because he sees his dad work out. And because his father works out 5 or 6 days a week, he sees consistency. He sees happiness. He sees his dad take charge. He sees his dad be organized, right? He sees his dad not shy away from challenges, because that's what normally happens when you're a workout guy. That's who you become, whether you want to or not. So he wants to be that, okay? And so I can understand the 10-year-old wanting to go with his father to the gym, okay? Now, guys, let me just add something here. So some of you are watching this and you're thinking about getting on your transformation journey. You haven't done it yet. One of your biggest regrets would be if your 10-year-old gets to 18 and he starts working out, or you start working out when he gets 17 or 18. You know how the kids go off to college and now we concentrate on ourselves? One of your greatest regrets will not be showing up as your best self while your kids need it the most, okay? I did that myself. I was in the worst shape of my life for 5-6 years. And it was when my son could have used the best version of me the most, right? Now, he's 20 years old, he's in college. It's great, right? Dad's in shape, he's in shape, whatever. But he really could have used it when he was 12, 13, 14, right? So I'm just saying that to say, the question that Elijah's posting right now is a great question, and the motivation is in the right place as well. This is the absolute time that your son should see you striving to be your best. Now, there are a couple factors that are present here, okay? So those of us with young boys, or it could be your girls, but a lot of times with fathers, it's our boys. We have to be careful with not trying to force them to be just like us, right? Or force them to be Superman. Okay. We might not feel like we're Superman, but we want them to be. Now, how do you do that? Because it's very hard to say, oh, push him hard for excellence, but don't push him too hard. Very hard to do, okay? I think that pushing your kid to realize that health and fitness should be a very important part of his life for his whole life is a very important lesson for dad to teach him. Very important. Because when it comes to me, guys, I'm going to teach I have a 6 and an 8-year-old. I'm teaching them about health and fitness now because they're going to need to be healthy for the rest of their lives. Not because of sports, because at some point you won't play sports anymore, right? You won't. But you're always going to want to be healthy. You're always going to want to move. Nobody wants to not be able to move, okay? So I think it's very important, Elijah, that you teach him right now and from this moment moving forward that daily movement should be a part of his life, just like daily eating, daily sleep. You understand? Very important. So I think that you have to keep that in mind, that whether you choose weights, calisthenics, cycling, running, swimming, daily movement should be an important part of his life. Now, you talked about mom being a little cautious about the decision. Okay. One thing I've noticed is that when your kid is 10, mom sees them about 2-3 years younger. All right. So she still looks at him like he's 7. You look at him because dads look at him 2-3 years ahead. So we look at him like he's 13. Well, if he starts now, when he's 13, right? That's how dads think. It actually creates a really good balance. If we think about it, creates a really great balance because at 10 years old, he's able to lay on the couch and watch a movie with his mom, right? And get lost in whatever movie he's watching. But with you, he has to think a little forward and be a big boy, right? So it's good. It's good that mom is cautious. One thing I would explain to her is to allow her to know that, first of all, you're never going to put him in a position where he could hurt himself, okay? Also, that if proper nutrition and sleep accompanies whatever workout or activity he's involved with, he will benefit greatly, just like an adult. Some would say more. Be honest with you. Some would say more. And she also has to trust you. And I see many times that guys are fighting in their marriage for their wife to trust them with their own children that they both produced. I can understand how it happens, but we have to get out of that mindset because he's 10 now, but at some point he'll be 15. And you might want to take him hunting, right? You might want to take him deep sea fishing. You're going to teach him how to drive. It's always going to be something that you're trying to prepare him or propel him forward with, and she may be uncomfortable about. She's going to have to get over herself, okay? And you can allow her to do that. But when it comes to enhancing him, you got to put your foot down, okay? Now, strength training versus calisthenics. Well, let's first talk about the stunt the growth myth, okay? What's funny is people talk about strength training stunting the growth and there being interruption with growth plates in young men, right? Again, we're just talking about boys right now. But those same people think it's okay to feed their kids candy and fruit juice. And let them drink soda, right? What I've found in my time on this earth, my man, is that what's good for the goose is good for the gander. You hear me? So if we're going to keep certain things out of our system, we should do the same for our children. And what will enhance us as adults will also enhance our children. And most of the time in the same exact way. Okay? Now, we turn up the intensity or turn down the intensity depending on the age, weight, and strength of the child. But the same exact movements and same exact exercises that benefit you will benefit him, and in the same ways. Always remember that. Okay? Now, so we got to remember what we're talking about here. Obviously, you have to feel yourself properly for you to be able to complete the movements and the exercises in the program that you're on. It's the same thing for him, right? Now, do you have to count his macros like you count yours? I don't know that you have to do that. I don't know if it's that serious. But he should be eating balanced meals. They should be during the most active times of his day. He should not be eating up until the time he goes to sleep. He should have a definite hydration goal for each day. You understand? Now, you're not going to be able to be as strict on it because he's at school. He hangs out with his friends. He goes to the movies. There's things. He still has to be a kid. But let's just be clear that the same things that fuel your body are the same things that fuel his. So we can't put him on a workout program, whether it's calisthenics or weight training, and think that he can operate with a low level of food. That's not how this goes, okay? Excuse me, because he's not going to grow just because of the fact that he's young, okay? That's where the myth lies. The myth is that kids don't put on body fat like adults. The more we can make their program like ours, the better off they will be, okay? Now, weights versus calisthenics at 10 years old. In my travels, brother, so from me training adults to coaching youth sports, training some youth. Now, normally they were older teenagers, but I coached kids who were 7, 8, 9, 10 years old. The kids who I saw have the best results were kids who worked out with body weight exercises. Because these movements are a skill, bro. And when we try to add load to these movements very early on, these kids develop bad habits, bad movement patterns, like really, really early. And it's hard to break that. So, take a squat, for instance. You got people, having their kids perform barbell back squats at the age of 9. But they haven't gone through a year where they just perform body weight squats. Guys, I promise you, take the guy who performs body weight squats consistently and put him against a guy who performs barbell back squats with bad form. The guy who does the body weight squats is going to see more progress. He's going to see more strength progress. He's going to see better functionality. He's going to be more mobile. And when he starts to put a load on his back, he's going to outperform the guy who never did the body weight squats to start with. It's guaranteed. So, Ethan, I would start with the body weight exercises. From pull-ups to inverted rows to dips, push-ups, squats, reverse lunges, curtsy lunges, walking lunges, Bulgarian split squats. Bro, the list goes on and on. I think you could probably find 50 different exercises you could do without weights that would be extremely effective. Because Dude, there's people in the military, they go away to basic training for 6 months. I don't know how long it is. Let's say 6 months. Bro, all they do is run and perform body weight exercises. They come back looking like Captain America. How do we explain that? Right? When we're looking to build muscle, bro, we're looking to send a strong muscle building signal to the muscles that we're training. And if we can do that without weights, the body will repair and rebuild those muscles even stronger each cycle. Okay? The body just doesn't respond when you have a load on your back. It helps send a louder signal, okay? But you don't have to have the load on your back. The negatives of him, you know, you getting him into weight training early. Let's talk about the negatives. He can get too focused on the numbers. And so if he gets too focused on the numbers, he'll start thinking he's not strong enough, he's not good enough, this isn't working out for him. Bro, when we work out with weights, you know how it is. We hit plateaus in that weight room, bro. You can have 50 pounds of your squat over 3 months, and then you could stall out. You could stall out. Now, as a grown man, you're able to understand the compounding effects of moving the same weight for the next 3 months, even if you don't increase your load. But as a kid, their brain isn't developed enough to understand the positive effects of that, okay? So they can get caught up in the numbers. We've already talked about how they can establish bad form. Now, the bad form can cause injury, and I believe that's what can cause you a little bit of stunted growth, okay? Because if your muscles are getting challenged in a weird way, just because the movement is weird on the young body, I think it can cause the body to develop in an unnatural way. Also, you know, when it comes to calisthenics versus weights, I think weights carry ego, right? And I like ego. Because to be an athlete, bro, or to just be a workout, you got to have some type of, man, that's what comes along with it. I'm not in here to become shy. I'm not in here to become reserved. I'm in here to become an animal. So you do need to develop some ego. But I think what lifting weights will do too early is develop this false sense of strength and power, right? Because a kid thinks, oh, I squat 50 pounds. I can run faster than all these kids. When maybe he doesn't have the speed or the mobility to run faster than these kids, okay? A couple more things to dissect. When it comes to weights, man, I think can restrict the mobility. So as they're growing, you want them to become more mobile, not less, right? Especially that early. You ever see some of the guys walking around the gym and it seems like they can't move their arms too well, or they're kind of stiff? Now we have our, you know, our opinions on why that happens to a man like that, but that's never the guy who just does calisthenics. Never. So weights will have a place in his programming for years to come. But he has to learn how to perform these body weight exercises first. He has to. And bro, I'm telling you, a young body is developing at an alarming rate. An alarming rate. Especially because those muscle building signals have not been sent in his body. So that's just like when you see somebody start coming to the gym and they lose a ton of weight real fast, or skinny guy starts taking creatine, he's in the gym for 6 months and he looks like an animal. You're like, how'd that come so quick? Well, because his body has never gone through this process of muscle building, right? Not at this rate. So when it starts going through that process, it's very quick. The body responds very quickly. So I don't think for the results that you would like to see with him, I don't think he needs to be under heavy loads right now. Okay? He needs to learn how to move and control his own body. He needs to learn how to breathe while he's performing his exercises. He also needs to learn full range of motion with the squats, with the push-ups, the pull-ups, reverse lunges. Also, they help develop his core, and they'll develop all these muscles at the same time, at the same rate. You have some people that are putting a 10-year-old on a body part split. Literally chest one day, back the next day, legs the next day, arms. I'm not saying it's impossible that it could work, but for the most part, you're going to see some uneven results. And you don't want that to happen at such a young age. So all in all, your calisthenics is going to be by far your best option for a kid at that age. It's going to fall in line with the natural movements that he performs on a daily basis, whether it's riding his bike, whether it's playing volleyball, playing baseball, doing all the things, okay? He's going to be able to build confidence and build strength and see his numbers go up without thought of injury or overdoing it, overtraining. And that's something we didn't really talk about, but you know how it is, guys. We can overtrain. We overtrain as adults. So a 10-year-old, I don't know, bro, if he's going to be able to tell you, oh, this is too heavy. Or I was really sore after I did a heavy chest day last week. We should scale it down. But most of the time, we perform body weight exercises closer to failure. And so he'll also start to understand his body and what happens when his muscles are reaching failure. You understand? So it's very important for him to learn his body. So I would say calisthenics over weight training. I would say 3 times a week, full body. Okay? And bro, he'll see extreme results from 2 times a week. But 3 times a week, if you want to establish some consistency, I would take the other 2 or 3 days, bro, and have him run. Have him run. And I mean, whether it's sprints, whether it's a little bit of distance, right? Whether it's running some hills, get him used to, you know, a cardio session in between, jump rope, right? Jumping jacks. Again, bro, the same thing you would do for yourself. You want to build up that stamina and that endurance. I think that's another thing that calisthenics promotes, right? So I would, every other day, strength train one day, cardio training the next day. Also understand, bro, that he has so much time to develop. So don't get caught up in him becoming little Superman really fast. Right, he's going to be stronger than 90% of kids his age. It's only 10% of kids training these days, and I'd say half of those kids aren't on proper diet and sleep regimens. How about that? His bedtime and his wake-up time should be on point. And also, too, let me tell you something, man. I understand schedule-wise, but sometimes we think, oh, I'm going to get him up in the morning and allow him to work out with me. Bro, he's 10 years old. He doesn't need to get up at 5 a.m. He needs his sleep more than anything, because remember, he's still a growing boy. He's still a growing boy. And you don't want to make him get into bed at 7. I see people cutting their kids short on a sleep, thinking, oh, they're just going to sleep from 10 to 5, 9 to 5. Bro, if he's used to sleeping 9 hours or 10, that needs to continue, brother. Okay? And I think getting up in the morning, where it can be beneficial in his later years, we're talking 16, 17, 18. It's not that crucial this early. It's just not, bro. It goes in stages. He will change, and then you can change the program. But we don't want our kids to get to a point where working out is a chore. We don't want working out to be a chore. We want it to be something they enjoy doing, and that they understand I got to come here and work hard, but I enjoy doing it. It's kind of like playing a sport, whether you play volleyball, tennis, basketball, you play soccer, you go bowling. You enjoy it, right? It may be a little tough at times, but you still enjoy it overall. You want them to enjoy it, okay? Also, I would take some video and show mom. Mom doesn't need to be there. Let me reiterate that. Mom doesn't need to be there. But you can take some video of it and show her so that she can just feel more comfortable, okay? But this is something you need to do with your son, okay? Don't rush the progress. Try to teach him to measure himself by his performance, because the measurement of performance will never let you down, and it will never lie to you. Measuring himself by taking off his shirt and looking in the mirror, again, by how much weight he can put on the bar, that will change, and that can create an illusion. It can have you thinking that you're doing something you're not doing, okay? So I think you got a good formula to get him started, and I think you're going to see great results, right? You got to teach him how to be patient. This is a great time to teach him how to be organized, to track his workouts, right? Get a little notepad for him. Get him a gym bag, right? If he doesn't have one, teach him how to be prepared when he goes to the gym, have his water, have his music, you know what I mean? Not be checking his phone in between sets, all the things. Teach him how to, some dynamic stretches, how to warm up properly, okay? Teach him the benefits of walking for 10 minutes or 15 minutes before the workout, some zone 2 cardio afterwards, okay? Man, he can be so far ahead of the game with knowledge because you're starting him so early. So it's super positive that you want to start him early. And make sure you're teaching him the things that will last and will stick, right? And will benefit him down the line no matter what he starts doing. But him just being able to bench press 100 pounds, bro, that's not. It's overrated. It's very overrated. I think we're starting to realize it's overrated for us adults because nobody cares. Unless you're competing, bro, nobody cares, right? So great stuff, bro. If you have an email like this young man Elijah or this young man Ethan, write me at coachmark22@gmail.com. That is Coach Mark with a C, 22@gmail.com. Enter your submission. Let me know what's going on. I'll bring it up on the live, man. All right? We talk about real people going through real issues during their transformation. That's why it's called Transformation Station, okay? Now, if you are someone that needs some coaching, maybe it's for 30 days, maybe it's for 3 months, maybe it's for 12 months. Whatever that is, click the link in the description, free consultation. We'll just get on the line, we'll talk about it, we'll try to figure out some things, see if we're a good fit for each other. But you'll never know if you don't click the link in the bio, all right? So let's do that. This is Lunchtime Logic. I'm your guy, Mark. I will be here tomorrow. Hope to see you here as well, all right? Have a good day.